Hello. Today we're going to talk about formatting cells in Microsoft Excel. So let's begin. The first thing I would like to bring to your attention is column width. Right now all of our columns are standard width, but we can change that depending on our needs. To do that, select the column or columns you would like to switch. Let's start with maybe the E column. And I'm going to put my cursor in the column header right between E and F until you get this shape. Doesn't work down here, needs to be up here in the column header. When you have this shape, hold down your left mouse button and you're going to see a little pop-up menu show you the width of the column. This happens to be 8.43 characters. Characters is kind of a weird unit of measure, so I'd just like to bring that to your attention. You can drag to the left or right to change the column width. You can make it thinner, you can make it wider, up to whatever you desire. So that's 26 characters wide. You can do multiple columns at a time if you like. Let's make this, how about 5 characters wide? There we go. So you can change the column width. Changing the row height is very similar. Again, select your cell or cells, your row or rows. Put it between the row headers when you get the similar shape, and you click and pull. Now, one thing I'd like to bring to your attention is this is being measured in a different unit than the column width was. This is measured in characters. This is measured in a unit called points, because notice that this is 26 characters where this is 54 points. So even though that's a much bigger number, it's actually a smaller size. Again, you can do multiple rows at the same time, select, and you can change your row height. By the way, if you click on this corner symbol here, that will select everything, and you can make universal changes all at once. So that is changing column width and row height. You can also change the background color of the cells. We call that shading, and you can put borders around the cells. If you want to change the background color of the shading, we're going to go up to the ribbon for this, and here is your icon there. You can see that these are actually 2 buttons. You have the little paint can, which is fill a color, and then the arrow next to the paint can, which is the options for fill color. So let's click on that arrow next to it first and choose a color that we would like. And let's pick orange, why not? Notice that we now see an orange swatch here, so if we click on any other cell and pick it, that will be orange. But if we wanted a different color, we're going to click the arrow next to it to choose our options. In a very similar way, we can put borders around one or multiple cells. So if I wanted a big thick border around these cells here, I can come to my border area. Right now it's set as a default to put a line at the top of the cells, but we can switch that to put a border around all the cells if we want. And that put a border around our cells. And you'll notice that there's also some other choices here. We can change the border color and the border style. Now this is a little bit confusing because we're going to need to set the border style and the border color before we pick the specific border. So let's say I wanted a dotted red border around this cell here. I would come up and I would first pick a dashed maybe, then I would switch it to red, and then finally I would pick the specific borders I wanted. Maybe I want a double border underneath. So then I would pick the double border underneath. Oh, I guess I selected this cell up here. But that is how that is going to work. So we talked about changing the column width. We talked about changing the row height. We also talked about changing the background color of the cells and adding a border around one or more cells to one or more portions of the border.